Today I am talking to the lovely Elle Halliwell. This is her new book, A Mother's Choice. She was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer, and a couple of days after she found out she had this cancer, which is leukemia, she found out she was pregnant. So she was given the impossible choice to choose her own life or choose her baby's life. So we talk about her journey, how her baby came to be born. We talk about motherhood. We talk about family, being a wife, being a working mum. So please grab a cuppa with us and join the conversation. And again, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that and enjoy Elle Halliwell. Elle Halliwell, welcome to Tea with Jules.
Thank you for having me, Jules. I'm very excited.
I'm excited to have you here. Now, you've written this book, A Mother's Choice, which is beautiful, amazing, full of your entire story. For anyone watching on today, can you just give me a rundown of your health journey and where we're up to right now?
Yeah, sure. About 2 years ago, almost to the month, I was 30 years old, fashion writer at the Daily Telly, was Fashion Week coming up, I was really busy, and I'd gotten some kind of unusual test results from my doctor, and over the period of about 5 weeks, ended up getting diagnosed with leukemia, with a form of leukemia called chronic myeloid leukemia, and was literally just trying to come to terms with that 2 days later when I found out that I was pregnant with my first child. I was still coming to terms with, being diagnosed with a chronic cancer, and then having that was really devastating at the time. Looking back to 2 years ago, I can kind of see it with a little bit more composure, I guess. But at the time, it was pretty devastating. And it basically led me and my husband to have to make a choice as to whether or not to keep our baby, which would mean me delaying a life-saving treatment that had come on the market only, a decade beforehand, which had changed the lifespan of someone with CML from like 3 to 5 years to decades.
Right.
So it was really crucial though that I got on it quickly, because that was kind of the test as to whether or not it was going to work. So I had to choose whether to either keep my baby, stop, delay the medication, or terminate the baby, go on fertility treatment and then start the medication straight away. I made the first choice. I decided to keep my child, and I thought, if he can survive in a body that's battling cancer, then I should give him, the best chance. 8 months later, I had a beautiful little baby boy named Tor. He's 1.5 now. I can't believe it, and I'm on the medication. And although we don't really know yet whether delaying it has impacted whether or not I'll one day be able to go off the medication, but it's certainly doing its job at the moment, and it's reducing my cancer levels down. I'm not completely in complete remission yet, but I feel like this year might be the year that I get the undetectable result, which is the goal.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
Yes. So many things and emotions and feelings and stuff to have to deal with, but very, very well said in a nutshell. Well done for getting through that. Just going back to that very, very first day when you said you got a result from your doctor, had you just gone for a checkup?
So I had gastro, went to the doctor to get a doctor's certificate because I knew I wasn't going to be able to go into work. And while I was there, I was like, can I get a blood test to check on my folate levels and my vitamin D? Because I was kind of at that point where me and my husband were thinking about maybe having a baby. I took that test and it came back with high platelets. And the doctor at the time thought that it was just because I'd had the gastro. It was like a viral response. 2 weeks later, I got tested again and they were higher again. So that's when he was like, maybe you should go and see a haematologist. So he referred me, and then that took about 5 weeks to get an appointment. Finally got an appointment with them. I got all of these blood tests done. Spoke to the doctor. He was like, look, I'm sure everything's fine. But when I said, me and my husband are planning to have a baby, and he's like, well, just hold off just until we get the results back. But we'll see you in 3 weeks. We'll call you with the, when we know what's going on. 9 a.m. the next day, I get the phone call from his office going, you need to come in first thing Monday morning, this is on a Thursday, and can you bring a loved one? And you don't get told to bring a loved one if it's a cold or a little issue. So it was going to be four 4 days of waiting to find out what it was. But fortunately, my husband wouldn't have a bar of that. So he called up our GP and was like, mate, we need to know now. So he managed to get the results and came to our house, and he sat us down, you know, in our lounge room. So it was a nice way to find out. If there's any nice way to find out that you got cancer, it was the best way. And so on the Monday when we came in, we had all these questions, and we kind of composed ourselves enough to kind of know what they were saying to us. Because I think, you know, if someone goes, you've got cancer, and then tries to rattle off what the next steps are, all you thinking in your head is cancer, 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 shit.
Yeah.
Whereas you should be kind of listening to, you know, what does your future mean?
Yep.
So we were all set. We had the, you know, phone recorder so we could, you know, listen to everything that he said and then play it back. So it was a nicer way to find out, I guess.
I can't imagine. I have 2 babies. I can't imagine that moment when someone is saying, okay, here's the impossible choice. It's your life or it's your baby's life. Was there ever a moment where you were like, no, I'm gonna terminate this pregnancy so I can be healthy?
Yeah, well, that was my first thought, because the doctor said the safest bet for you is to terminate the pregnancy and get the, you know, fertility treatment and then go on the drugs. You know, I'm a law-abiding citizen. I, you know, always respect authority. And so in my mind, like my automatic thought was, whatever you say, I will do. And it wasn't until my husband, who's a little bit more relaxed when it comes to things like that.
He was a rebel?
Yeah, he kind of was like, hang on, let's just sit and think about this for a minute. This is a big thing. And it kind of jolted me out of that weird
doing what
mentality.
He was going to say.
Exactly, that's right. And I kind of thought, hang on, yes.
Yeah.
Like, this could be our only chance of ever having a child. And so we really sat down and we kind of thought about it, and we, you know, did the pros and the cons. And I was so lucky that everything worked out, but it doesn't for everybody. And so I look back now and I think that was a real risk. Once we decided to make the choice, I kind of forgot about the cancer in a way and just kind of wanted to focus on the baby. But then, looking back and going, wow, that's a scary thought to think about.
In hindsight, now you've got a healthy baby. Looking back, it's like, it's a huge, huge risk.
But then I look at him and I think, oh my gosh, there's no way that I might have considered not keeping him. You know, it makes me feel very, very horrible, and it's not a nice thought.
And I think it was in the 60 Minutes interview you did, I heard you say that, you know, thinking about yourself and possibly facing death, you weren't afraid anymore.
I know, that's really weird. And, you know, I think it was more because I thought I could deal with myself dying better than I could with a loved one dying.
Right.
In a way. I felt like I could control how it happened. It's kind of funny, like when you're kind of faced with something like that, you've either got the choice to accept it or to rage against it. And I just don't think I had the energy at the time. I was in so much shock that I was like, okay, this is the situation. You just have to sit with it. You've had a good life. You're 30 years old. You've, you know, ticked so many boxes. You've travelled the world. You know, you've done some amazing things. You've crammed a lot into your life. And then I thought to myself, if I had to go, would that be okay? And it's funny that I was okay with it when I was first kind of thinking about it when I was diagnosed. But then a few weeks later, that changed, because I kind of got to the point where I thought, there are so many things that I want to do, but there's also a better legacy that I want to leave behind. I didn't feel like if I died, I would have died the person that I would have wanted to have been, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I kind of, that made me kind of really evaluate all my values and whether I was living in alignment with them. And I realised that I wasn't. And I actually started to get really angry with myself, thinking that I'd lived a life that looked good to other people, not myself. And so I think that that's helped me to become a lot more, I don't know, real, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like I'm living a more genuine life now because I'm more aligned with my values, and I am more attuned with my own feelings. And I don't know, so I'm clearly glad I didn't die.
Of course.
But I'm glad that now I have the knowledge that I'll be more prepared if something else happened down the track.
Do you feel like you've got a second chance at life? to go, okay, here's your second chance at doing it how you think you should do it now.
Yes.
Do you feel the weight of that?
It is. It's a lot of responsibility. The sad thing is, the further I get away from that point in my life, the more that the realities of just the daily living and the daily stresses start to kind of creep back in.
Right.
So it's a real struggle to kind of keep that perspective and to keep kind of remembering those promises that I made to myself back in that time. Because, you know, the washing starts piling up and you get frustrated and you're running late and, you know, you start getting angry, and then I have to literally shake myself and go, hang on, you nearly bloody died 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Just come on.
Yeah.
Life's not that bloody bad. I think a lot of people kind of think that, you know, you go through something like that and you are forever going to be the perfect person, and you're going to have, you know, your values are going to be aligned every single day, and you're not going to eat the wrong thing, you're not going to say the wrong thing, you're going to be this kind of perfect human who's had this second chance. And I'd love that to be the case, but it's not true, and it is always hard to kind of stay in that moment, I guess.
You're a journo.
Yep.
And have been for a really long time.
I literally got my gold pen 2 months ago.
Congrats.
And a little plaque.
Well
I
done.
know.
What do you get that for? Is that like a
10
tournament?
years.
Oh, 10 years, okay. I do this because I'm genuinely interested and like people, and I love people's stories. That's why I do it. But as a journo, it's a job, and you have to get the story, and for the most part, you have to get it in 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute sometimes. You have to get the thing that everyone wants to read about or talk about or watch. But going through something like cancer and being ill and thinking about life on that level, do you see people differently, and does that affect your jobs?
Working in the entertainment industry, there's this kind of unspoken agreement where, as a journalist, you kind of reserve the right to ask any question you want.
Right.
However, the person on the other side has the right to say, I'd rather not talk about that, or can we ask another question? You know, when you get like a big star, you get, you know, given this list of approved questions.
Yes.
And, you know, as a journalist, you kind of feel like your hands are a bit tied, but you kind of feel like you still need to ask that question. But in my mind, if they say no, or they just, you know, give you the look,
Or
that's
they look
fine.
at their publicist like...
Yes. Oh, God, I've seen a few of those. It's a bit of a game, you know?
Yeah.
If the talent wants to promote whatever they're promoting, they have to talk to me. I got to talk to them to get a good page, 3 story.
Yeah.
So I should be able to ask the questions. They should be able to say, I don't want to bloody talk about that, F off.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Who's your favourite person that you've ever talked to or interviewed?
Oh, my God. Well, Oprah. Yeah,
I
know. That
she's
was
the queen.
Not that we exactly had a D&M or anything. It was very much on the red carpet. Hey, Oprah, are you having a good time in Sydney? She's like, yeah, I'm having a great time. I was like, great. My life is done.
Yep.
Like, I can bow out now. So she's pretty amazing. Not the best interview I've done, but probably the coolest person I've ever interviewed.
Guy Sebastian, he's pretty cool.
Do you know what? I still remember me and Guy, I was invited to his little studio in Surrey Hills.
Yeah.
And I got to watch him perform like in his little studio and stuff. We had such a great time.
Great.
He was lovely to interview. Please pass it on. Pass on my regards.
He's good in an interview because he is a talker.
He is,
and he gives and
very
gives and gives.
giving.
Yeah.
Very generous.
Yeah, he's good like that. And very honest, and sometimes too much information.
Okay, I need to know from you then, what is the most awkward thing that he has ever said about you or the family?
Okay, I was on Studio 10, which is live.
Yeah.
It's live, okay, so there's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
Guy is on Kyle and Jackie O at the same time.
Yeah.
So we're both doing our thing. He has talked about the time where him and Delta Goodrem dated for a couple of weeks.
Oh my God.
Which no one has heard of and no one knew about, right? I knew, but no one else knew. Joe Hildebrand is sitting next to me on the panel. His phone lights up and his wife is listening to Kyle and Jackie O, hearing Guy talk about him dating Delta. She's like, oh my gosh, Jules is on the show. So texts him and he turns to me on live TV and goes, Jules, we've just got some breaking news about Guy and Delta. And I was like, I don't know what he has said
my God.
to Kyle and Jackie O, so I don't know his story, and I'm there just freaking out, thinking I actually don't know what to say right now. So I just said something. I don't even remember what it was. And then I got out of the studio and I called guys like, "What are you doing? Why did you say that?" He's cry laughing. Thinks it's the best thing ever.
Oh, that's so bad.
That was my worst
literally
moment.
the worst timing ever. If you'd done it 15 minutes before, he could have called you up and gone, just a heads up.
Yeah. Nothing. Those are the sorts of things he does.
Oh.
He just drops me in it and I'm like, oh, this is too much.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that
was me.
Yeah.
That was really mean.
I hope he took you out for a really nice dinner after that.
I know. And then I text Delta and I was like, hey, just in case you're here, I'm really sorry about that. She was laughing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was fine.
Oh
so,
my God, yeah.
awkward.
So you can now throw him under a bus in the next interview.
Don't worry. I've done it.
Yeah? Okay, good.
He's going down. That's my awkward story. That's so mean.
That's really mean.
And Elle, if you had one message for the world, what would it be?
Be kind to yourself.
Yep.
I think if everyone treats themselves with love and kindness and compassion, I think that kind of energy penetrates the people in your circle, and I think that that's a way that we can all become a little bit more peaceful and a bit happier in life and in the world.
Wise words.
Thanks. What about you?
Oh
See, the interview room is coming out.
I would say, similar to you, be kind to yourself, be kind to others.
That's right.
Just give as much as you can, be kind, be nice, smile at people, say hello.
That's right.
Ask
Make
people
someone's
how
day.
they are. Make someone's day. I think kindness is such a strong, good message.
Yeah, non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable.
No.
There's no reason not to be.
That's right.
None.
And even if someone cuts you off in traffic?
Then you can be unkind.
Yeah, as long as they don't know.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been known to road rage a little. I know people are very shocked by that, but I was very impatient on the road. It's my one place. Since I moved to Sydney, I'm from Adelaide, and people like wide roads. People drive the speed limit. It's cool. It's real chill.
Yeah.
Not here.
No, everyone's angry and in a rush. But I have a really great tip for you.
Go ahead.
Just continuing on.
Yeah.
If someone cuts you off or is rude or doesn't give the wave, I put an excuse onto them. I go, oh my gosh, they are desperate to go to the toilet and they've completely forgotten their manners and they're just in a rush to get home to get onto the toilet. Or something like that. Or, oh my God, running late to pick the kids up from school.
Okay.
You see, you're sorry for them.
Way kinder than me. That never runs through my head.
Okay,
all of the swear words run through my head.
Okay,
and a little bit of abuse, so I will work on that.
After the abuse, maybe think of that.
Okay, no, that's a good way to look at it.
Okay.
Take that up. We're taking that on board. Kindness on the roads, people, from now on.
Give the wave.
Thank you, Elle.
Thanks, Jules.
It's been a pleasure.